This is stupid. What the hell's going on with my phone? I don't even have the freaking helmet on at this point, so I don't know why the hell it's not working. Edmundo, can you hear me? Please tell me you can hear me. For the love of Peter and Paul, please tell me you can hear me. I don't know what the hello that was all about. Can you hear me? Oh, thank God. I just had to restart the live. It was just YouTube, I guess, because I tried everything, man. I turned my helmet on, I turned my helmet off, my Bluetooth on, my Bluetooth off. I did everything I could think of 1,000 times, and it would not come in. What the heck was that all about? There's a little microphone button on there. I hit that. I did everything it said to do. That was really irritating the Hello Kitty out of me. And you guys, started reading comments. Everybody's like, he's trolling me. I'm like, I'm not trolling, I promise. I would never do that. That's the last thing in the world. Oh, wow, I almost went down. That's the last thing in the world, you guys. All right, so hopefully we can keep reception now. If you hear me. Thank God. I had to just completely restart the live. It wasn't me, guys. I tried everything. I thought that it was my helmet at first, but it wasn't my helmet. So I turned off my Bluetooth, turned it on. I did everything, just pushed all the buttons on YouTube that are there. It just stopped working. So freaking weird. But the good news is we're a little closer to where we were going, so hopefully we can see some fun stuff now. All right. I see some of our friends back. Hopefully we'll get going here. I apologize for that, guys. I have no idea. I still don't know what it was. The only thing that fixed it was getting out of the YouTube and coming back in. So that did it. Sucked, but it did it. Now, some of you, if you've ever been to Crystal River, you'll know essentially where we're heading now. It's a state park. It's Crystal River State Park Preserve, and it's not too far from the archaeological preserve. And it is now 2:40 in the a.m., and we are just now arriving to within a mile of our destination or so. I'm very glad I got the volume back. I hope that won't happen again. I apologize for that. If you guys could share this back out, I do apologize. I don't know how you got all of our friends in there before, but I'd sure love to help doing it again. And I'll try to keep better look at this. I need to have some stop signs. If something happens, put some stop signs on there, Christy, or whoever's in here that can help me out. Throw something on there that I can see, that I'll know that I got a problem. You probably tried that, but now I'll be looking for it. So sorry about that, guys. But I saw that thumbs up, I think, because I got bad eyes. So between that and not knowing something's in that bush. Hold on, y'all. Could have swore I heard something going by. Maybe I didn't. Always better to check and see. You might miss something cool. All right. You guys are the best. Now we're going to rock and roll. This is a place where you can ordinarily see manatee during the cold winter months. They congregate in this park. But this is a state park. It's a beautiful spot. I usually like to stop in here and look at the water. This will be our first shot of the water, guys, if you'd like to have a look. This is a beautiful little spot. Look at. There's the beginning of Crystal River. And now we'll get to where we're going to start looking for some critters. Hey guys, got 25 of our friends back. I'm so sorry about that if you came in. I don't know what, this is my first real kind of live or second here on YouTube, so I had to restart the whole live because something went wrong and I didn't know how to fix it. It just would not let me fix it. I tried everything on my end. We're on State Park Road now. I don't mind telling you guys that. Uh, and this is a beautiful spot of road. We might get to see a Florida panther here if we're so lucky. We might get to see a black bear, might get to see some cool snakes. Once we get up into the park, I'm going to get off the bike and I'll walk us around. Good spot for our alligator friends. And it's pretty warm, so we might find some on land tonight if we're lucky. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you more about that man. I was trying to tell you about a serial killer that lived in this area. They say that he still kind of lives in this area. I got to be honest, the story involves some crimes against children, and the man was said to be a very, very foul man. There's a couple of different names I was given for him. One was McKay, and I don't know why that there's a disparity in the names. One was McKay and one was Kay. I mean, that could be easy to mix up, Kay and McKay. But I did find record of other McKays in the area, leading me to believe that it was a McKay, spelled M-C-K-A-Y, I believe is how they had spelled it. But he was a fisherman by trade. This was somewhere around 1890, 1895, 1896. He was a fisherman, lived in this area. It wasn't Crystal River at the time. It was called something else. I think it was Concord, maybe. They called the little community, at least that he lived in, was called Concord. And by all accounts, he had a great big family, but hold on a second. I'm losing you guys. I hope not. This should be a good spot for reception. Guys, I'm probably losing you. Are you still there? Are you still there? If you are, I'm going to stop while I have a little bit of reception. I just had something really weird hit me. Please tell me you can see me. Can you see me? Anybody? You're here. Oh, thank God. All right, I'm going to pull over for a second. We're actually in the park. I'm going to walk it out and hopefully keep reception. I just had the weirdest thing happen. I'm not going to lie. I'm creeped out right now. I'm really creeped out. And that was really strange. Shelly has a toy at the house. Back in North Carolina, she had a toy that shoots air across the room. It literally, you can make them yourself out of like a can and a rubber band and stuff. Anybody familiar with those toys? And I just got hit. It's just now picking up wind, but it's not what hit me. I got hit with the coldest blast of wind. Not wind like just a cone of air, like boom, cold, boom, hit me. And it was right. Listen to the coyotes. What the hell is that noise? Can you guys hear that? Okay, that was a little bit weird, man. Definitely like a spirit. That was really weird. But I hear something up ahead, but I thought it was coyote. It's not. We're gonna just walk. We're gonna walk for a minute. If you guys don't mind, I'm probably not gonna have the greatest. Listen, holy crap! Hey, knock that tree again. Knocking that tree again, please. Do you guys hear that? I'm having a mini panic moment here. This is really weird. I don't want to move. I'm afraid to move. I'm froze. So I'm just gonna move. That's it's a weird vibe, I guess you guys would call it, I'm getting right now. I'm in the middle of the archaeological park. I'm losing my reception, which means I'm losing my connection with anybody that would see anything that happens weird or anything that happens to me. And I just heard something nail that tree back there. Once, didn't do it again. But there's a weird chirping, chipping, weird noise up ahead that I can hear. So we're gonna keep walking. And I'm keeping my head on a swivel. And I'm gonna hop on that bike. Maybe I should be on the bike right now. I don't know, man. Guys, I'm hopping on the bike. I don't really want to walk right now. I feel like I need to be able to get up and get out of here. I don't like it. One of the noises was right here. If I lose you, I'll move back to where I got reception. If I lose you, I'm going to go right back to where I got reception, just so you know. I'm keeping a very close eye on the chat to see when I ultimately lose. I wanted to get down here to the water, but this is really weird. It's not letting me get. I've never had an issue over on, even when we did this on TikTok. Here. Saw eyes shine up ahead too. I think it's a deer. Something in the woods. I heard that. We're at the Pine Flatwoods Restoration Project. So there's something creepy going on out here, guys. And I don't know I don't know how to, is that a snake? Nope, there's animal poop. Let's see what we got. I think that's bobcat or coyote, and it's fresh. Maybe that's what I'm hearing. We're at the mound now. As long as it's not bear, I'm all right. And that's some good old coyote scat. And it's still steaming and nice and warm, so he's probably right here. Just dropped it a second ago. I probably scared it out of him. Where are you, Yodi? Whoa, something just hit my back. Some big bug just hit my back. Flew out of nowhere and nailed me. I don't know what it was, but it certainly wasn't tiny. I felt it hit like a hummingbird in my back. You guys still with me? Let me know in the chat. Keep the chat moving. If that's the only way I can really tell if you're here right now. Poop in the road. Bug hits me. Now we're creaking. So the man that had killed, that I was trying to talk about before I lost you, had a home right here at this crossroads at the old Big Bend. And what made him particularly bad, as I'd said before, was the fact that he preyed upon his own family as well. Where he did things that I don't even want to talk about, even though I can, doesn't mean I should. But the problem is when they had found out about his crimes and they had pretty much caught him red-handed, there was only one thing they could do with a man like that, and that was to execute him. I'm just not going to get the reception to get you guys down to the water. I have another option, then we're going to go down to the town, right here to Crystal River town. And it's right on the water there. And I happen to know a good spot. I know where the reception's good at least. We might be able to find some snake and some frog and alligator. But right where I just showed you, it's reputed to have some very frightening encounters. Maybe that's why I'm hearing stuff in the woods and I keep thinking about that. Heading out. I feel a little more comfortable now as I'm heading out, I think. I'm going to lose you guys reception-wise again for probably 2 seconds, remember? But then we should be back again decent. Here's our water. I wanted to stop at the water real quick before we go and just see if there's any alligators here. This is the part in the horror movie that you're supposed to tell me, no, creep, don't do it. It's right behind you. And it might well be. You can't see it, but we are at Crystal River right now. And it's got alligators and manatee and snake and everything else, but I don't see any eye shine to tell me that there's an alligator right here. Anything alive is not really moving either, which is some of the night bugs just went dead on that side too, so there's something moving over there. But one of the things that there's more water, but I don't see anything. One of the things that people have reported here, I'm going to try to tell you the story. My bike's jerking like something's wrong with the motor on it. Very strange. A young couple in 1977 was right where I just showed you the water. There's always been a little spot you can pull off and fish there. And they were in their old car. Can't remember what type, even though somebody told me. I just saw an animal there and heard something there, I think. What the heck, man? It's like I hear something, and then as soon as I hear it on one side, I hear something on the other. I'm wondering if we can get back down to the archaeological park better. The couple was making love in their car. I guess I can say that. A couple of young kids in their car, they were doing the dirty. And suddenly the woman screamed. They looked up and they saw a man hanging from the tree, not 10 feet from their car. Hadn't been there before. The girl screamed again, loud, so loud the man later said that it made his ears want to bleed. She just kept screaming and screaming and screaming. Man ended up slapping her. When he slapped her and they looked over, the body was gone. He had just got the woman to kind of calm down a little bit, just a little bit, when they heard a thump, bang, thump again. And they looked over and they saw the man's legs dangling, banging against the side of the car. He was swinging in the breeze. The man said that he started the car and he drove away and he could see in the rearview mirror the man's body swinging, spinning where the car had bumped it. And that was not the first time the people had said that they had seen the specter of his hanging body. You can also hear stories. Occasionally, people they hear the sound of crying children. They hear the sound of a man that was crying because the man, reminiscent of what happened to Freddy Krueger, some say that his man bits had been destroyed before he had been hung for what he had done to his family. Again, whether it's 2024 or 18 and 50 or any other time, people never liked the child predator, and when they were caught, they were dealt with in a very harsh manner. And most of the time that had to do with castration, which is something that I think in Florida they just signed a law. Did you guys hear about that in Florida where I am? They signed a law that if you rape a child under 5 years old, that you can be up for the death penalty. Has anybody heard that? I don't know if they'll be able to sign it into law, but that's something that they've tried to sign into effect. And the reason being, I suppose, for anybody that's ever suffered something so horrible is it's a life sentence. You know, it's a horrible thing that they have to deal with the rest of their life. Some people feel that people that do that shouldn't have an opportunity to do it again. Now, I can't read the chat there, but old-fashioned, I see something, yeah, which they should. Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of cultures, in the hand for an hand and eye for an eye culture, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, if you did that, you lost your man bits. And some cultures, you don't know, but some cultures you did. And I tell you, it'd be a very effective cure. And it has been. In some places, they chemically castrate to this day. I think in the United States of America, in Britain and other civilized countries, they still chemically castrate in some individuals' cases for people that are considered irredeemable, and they just keep creating crimes and drama and everything else. But I know that can be a very touchy subject, something that a lot of folks don't feel even comfortable discussing at all, especially if they've had trauma. But let's take the back road. I don't feel like being on the main road. So I'll read some comments up here where I have some light. We're going to go back down towards the downtown area. We'll do the other ride. I went the complete wrong way to go down to the Fort Island. That's where I was meaning to go. Let's go here for lights. There's nice light. I should be able to see you guys by. All right. It should be, Teresa. Shouldn't even be a trial, right? Yeah. Texas, I think they can castrate again. I haven't heard that, but I think that is good. I've experienced things in my childhood that have impacted me. And I believe that somebody that does something like that to the very, very innocent, whether they're a little child or an elderly person or somebody that's mentally challenged, ought not to be able to do it again, whatever that means. And some of the cases that I've seen and things, just absolutely horrible. So, terrible things that any child should have to face. Albert Fish, let's talk about him for a little bit. I'm going to start riding us back where we're headed, but I want to talk about Albert Fish. Anybody that's ever followed true crime or serial killers has probably heard of the Vampire of Wisteria, Werewolf of the Bronx, the Gray Man. They called him a lot of different things, but he truly was a monster. And when I say that, the things that frighten me the most are the people among us that can do the types of crimes that he did. And I was talking about it. Most innocent, and they loved it. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to destroy innocence. And there is a certain type or subclass of monster serial killer that's what gets them off. Now, I could never talk about these things, and I'm going to warn you guys, if you're frightened of serial killers, if crimes against children or sexual crimes or anything like that really bother you, I'm going to talk about a lot of that stuff, because you can't talk about serial killers without talking about the very worst of human behavior. 3:04, this is perfect. By the time I get home, Shelley will be getting up and we can have our adventure. So when Shelley gets up, then I get to take her to the beach, and then she gets to do it live with you guys, and I'll get to hang out with you guys again, maybe, depending on how tired I am. But so Albert Fish was one of those subtype, perverted, sadist, serial killing monster. And he lived a very long time ago. So long ago, in fact, that for any of the people that always like to tell me about the good old days, that things like this didn't happen in the good old days this, the good old days that. No, friends, there were no good old days. There was just not very good record keeping. It wasn't so in your face. There wasn't so much of it because there weren't so many of us. But you don't have to go back decade or far to find monsters wherever you go. I know we all like to think, oh boy, things were better in the 80s and things were better in the 50s and everybody had, guns in the back of their things and there were no shootings and there were none of this and that. But let me just be honest with you guys. Yes, there were horrible things. Maybe not shootings and mass planes going into towers and things, but there were monsters 100 years ago, 200, 300, 400, 500 serial killing monsters doing the same things. Maybe on different scales, but doing the same damn things. So there never were good old days, ever. And Albert Fish proves that, and men like him. He would find children that he was attracted to. Now, his attraction wasn't so much a physical attraction, even though he got there. He was attracted to their innocence, the qualities of innocence that we see in children. Naivety, not understanding the wider world, not understanding the things that adults understand. Pure innocence is what he fed on. He was a monster that fed on innocence. And worse, more. But he would find a child that he liked. It didn't really matter if it was a boy or a girl. Just a child that he could overpower, a child that he could manipulate, a child that he could talk into doing what he wanted to do. And he would take that child. It's an a modus operandi that many serial killing psychopaths still follow to this day. And it's good for you to hear it, even though it's hard to hear. He delighted in it. And once he found a small child, in the case of Grace Budd, a little sweet child, just a few years old, he would talk their parents, always poor parents, he would talk their poor parents into letting him take their children. How could he do that? Because he was a soft-spoken, sweet, senile-seeming old man. Like the type of old man that anybody would like to have. Father. Oops. That guy's coming from that way. I'll get on this side of the road. But he would talk them into it based on the deception that he was a sweet little old grandfather. And if you were to look at him, he was looking like that. He was old. He was in his 70s, even 80s years old, and he was still murdering. He was an old man, all bent up and curled over with his back all hunched in. He truly wasn't anything to look at. Uh-oh. Checking on me to make sure I'm all right. There you go, officer. I just don't like to get hit by cars. That's why I got off the road there. But he was truly a remarkable monster. Grace Budd was a young lady that he preyed upon. And he met her parents. He had worked for them as a painter, and he had gotten to know them a little bit. And he offered to take her to a birthday party, and they trusted him. He lured her away with a birthday party, and when he got her separated from his parents, of course, there was no party at all. That was just a pretense. And I'm going to spare you the graphic details. You don't need to hear them. I know everyone, and I don't need to know them. I wish I hadn't. I learned them when I was probably about Grace Budd's age, when I read a book about him. And it was a frightening book. And it opened up my eyes to the real possibility that that could happen to me as a child, that I could be raped and murdered by an adult. And it was a terrifying thing. It took away the sting and the fear of Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and bear attacks and shark and anything else. It took those fears right out of me when I realized that monsters are real, very, very real. And they can look like a sweet little old grandfather. He would get children aside and he would torture them. He would sexually assault them. And then he would eat them. And you would think that that's as bad as it gets, that there's nothing much worse than that, right? You would think that that's just as bad as it gets. But oh no, no. It gets much worse. Because he wasn't done there. He wasn't done with causing pain. He wasn't done with causing madness. Because he would then write a letter to the parents explaining in cruel detail everything that he did to your child. How they tasted, how it felt when he molested them, whatever he did, he would tell you in detail. And that was a long, long time ago. That was in the supposedly good old days when the greatest generation was among us. And there were monsters like him then, and there's monsters like that right now, somewhere. And since I got buzzed by the Mr. Officer down there, I'm going to push the button and do these things the right way so I don't get in trouble. I think that, sometimes I wonder if I wasn't on the phone, if he would have stopped and harassed me or something. No, look at that. You guys, look at that. Told you. Look at who was waiting on me. Told you. He was looking to see if I was obeying the rules. He was just sitting up the road, wasn't he? You gotta love him. Got nothing else to do at 3 a.m. Let's go bother somebody. Anywho, where was our? Oh yes, back to Albert Fish and men like him. Fact is, if you talk to an FBI profiler, they'll tell you that his type is in operation today, still. And right now in 2024, we still hear stories just like that. We hear stories from around the world of men like that, and occasionally women that prey upon children doing the most sadistic things you could possibly imagine. And they don't prey so much. It's not the sexual gratification they're after. It's the innocence they're after. Now, I'm going to tell you some more stuff about Albert Fish. If you've never heard of this man, you can look up some of his madness. I don't recommend doing it right before bed, reading any stories. And if I ever wrote one, you definitely wouldn't want to read that. But much of his story got... A lot of people don't know that one of his psychiatrists killed themselves. There's an animal right there. I don't know what it was, damn it. There he is, right there. It's a possum. Look at him. You see the little possum head. Sorry, guys, I'm going to try it. I don't know if I can zoom in here or not. It's a Virginia opossum. There's water right there, too. But, there's water, so I figured I'd stop for just a spell and see if I see any eye shine or snakes. You guys give me a minute. We're going to go look for some snakes for a minute. This is the first good mixed water that I've found. And this is a really good place to find a couple of water snakes. There's a possum that just went into the woods. So there might be something trying to eat him, too. You never know. Let's see how far he went. Okay, possum walked off, but maybe we'll find us a snaky snake. Let's have a look-see. Or an alligator. Look at how clear that water is, guys. You can see right down to the bottom. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky and see an alligator or something cool. Yeah, that officer was funny. He pulled up alongside me, kind of looked at me, And then I just had a feeling that he would do that. He snuck up the road, turned around real quick, and was watching to see if I obeyed that light. And if I didn't, he would have pulled me over and rousted me up. And that's how they like to do. But I like to obey the laws when I know they're doing that. They've really got a bike pulling over habit here, man. Like I told Shelly the other night, I see them pulling bikes over more than they pull over cars. Like I see them all the time, just pulling bikes. Now, I wanted to wait too to see. I want to see if this is the police again. So I'm walking my bike here just for kicks. I want to see if it's the same officer. What do you think? Probably not, but it could be. We'll find out in just a jiffy. Nope. I was kind of surprised. I would have thought for sure it would have been. All right. Nothing wrong with them doing their job, but they like to harass you. Yeah, I got the last few nights I told Shelly that I had been out riding. I saw 3 people pulled over on bicycles. Older guys, probably have been, I don't know if they were drinking or not. I don't know anything about it. I just know that I didn't know that people get pulled over on bikes. I was really shocked. But yeah, one of the guys, I did ask him, and he said that he got pulled over for not having the right lights on his bike. So I've got all the right lights on mine. I mean, when the officer went by, yeah, maybe that's what he was checking for. But yeah, if they find you without the right lights, or if you have an e-bike or something, they'll pop you if you're not. I mean, they'll look for any reason to get you, and they will. They'll pop you on your bike and they'll pull you over. And I see people I've seen cops pull over the last couple guys that I've seen them pull over. They've got them pulled over, pulling stuff out of their pockets. They've got them up against the car. How dare you ride a bike, you poor bastard? You poor son of a bitch. You must be evil and breaking the law if you can't afford a car around here. Oh. To be fair, it is 3+ a.m. and I am cruising around with a big old headlamp on. Minding my own business, but still it doesn't look good. Probably, if you think about it. Probably looks a little bit weird. And I was in the road, which I don't know if that's allowed or too. So he's nice. He could have probably been mean. I've just had so many bad experiences over my life. And I guess those have kind of outweighed the good when it comes to certain things. And a lot of my experiences with law enforcement have been very not pleasant. And even when they should have been very, very pleasant, were not pleasant. So I just would rather obey the law, do my thing, leave me alone. I don't need any help, thank you very much. I'll take care of this myself, thank you very much. You know what I mean? I'll be all right. No, I didn't call you, officer. That would be somebody else. All right, let's keep going. Now, Dean and I are supposed to go looking for snakes one of these nights on a spot. We'll have to do it before our live feed, though, because the best time to look is around 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock at night.